Good day, everyone. This is Coach Reese coming at you with another great video. I'm hoping all is well with you and your family and that you're enjoying your day. The title of today's video is The Dominant King, The Dominant King. And I feel that this video is very important, young people, because if you ever interact with people of royalty in certain countries, it's very important that you learn the customs of how to interact with that particular individual. So basically what I'm trying to say is this, if you are talking to a king or queen of a country, you must render the certain respect because, they're royalty. You know what I mean? It's not to say that they're better than you. It's just that I call it a respectful thing to do, because royalty deserve the respect, because they are, kings and queens, and like I say, they deserve that respect, you know, and like I say, as you grow up and everything, I encourage you all to study and research, the current kings and queens of different countries around the world, and research on how to deal with that individual, if you ever have to encounter with them. It's very important, young people, that you do your research on different things, especially dealing with royalty and how to deal with, very powerful people like the president of the United States, or, prime ministers that you may deal with when you become adults. So, because when you learn the customs of different countries on how to deal with people, I feel that people will have a tremendous respect for you for doing your research and, rendering the respect to the high ranking, king or queen or prime minister or whoever you may be dealing with at the time. So like I say, young people, it's very important that you do your research so that you can put your best foot forward and be the best representative of, the country that you are currently living in and representing. Okay. I don't have any notes today, young people, but I'm gonna just go ahead and get started with my journal. Now my journal today, of course, is gonna deal with kings and queens and royalty and things of that sort, but it also has other very important information in there, and I hope and pray that you all will learn and take this advice to heart and apply it to your life. Okay. Like I say, the title of today's video is The Dominant King, The Dominant King. For a good portion of my life, I have always looked at royalty in a certain way. I have always had this perception of kings and queens being royalty. Of course, this is true. When in the presence of a royal king, we must conduct ourselves accordingly because his high-ranking position commands and deserves respect. But as I learn more, I have come to the realization that there is something in this precious world more valuable than the royal family. The most precious jewel on this earth is me, you, and every living human being on this earth. Almighty God has blessed us with a purpose and a gift. Almighty God has blessed us all with a purpose and a gift that we are all called to do. And yes, you must do the work of finding your gift. One of the easiest ways of finding your gift is by asking yourself, what is the one thing that you really enjoy that can possibly be transformed into a business? My grandmother was a gifted seamstress. My grandmother had the God-given ability to make clothes. I remember her patiently sitting at her sewing machine, working extremely hard, creating clothes for the people that lived in her community. She worked very hard for very little money. Her satisfaction was giving back to the community through her gift of sewing. She had no desire to grow and expand her gift beyond the dining room of her home. She just desired to work from home to provide a service. Young people, there is something far more valuable than your gift. Your mind and your spirit are the most valuable thing that you possess. It is very important, young people, that you fill your mind and spirit with good things. You must always guard your mind and spirit as if your life depends on it, which it does. Whatever dominates your mind, that is what you will be. If you fill your mind with corruption, hanging out with people that engage in criminal activity, listening to music that encourages violence, or hanging out in the streets, then you are on a fast track to destroy your life. You must think on things that are good, like morals and lessons you learned from your parents. If you attend church, you should apply what you if you attend church, you should apply what your pastor is saying to your life. Working on the goals you set for yourself is a great way to preserve your mind. Remember, young people, whatever you think about, that is what you will be, good or bad. Preserve your spirit with good things. If you believe in God, fill your heart with godly things like reading your spiritual book, the Bible or Quran. Tell yourself that you are a good, loving person. You are extremely successful. Tell yourself, I will accomplish my goals. Fill your spirit with determination. Say to yourself, I will be the best person that I can be every day of my life. When you do these things, at some point, great things will come your way. Okay, young people, that concludes my journal for the day. And in all my videos, young people, I touch on 3 points on wisdom. I touch on 1 point dealing with critical thinking. And then I have an ending statement of practice. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started on my 3 points on wisdom. Point number 1, wise people are good listeners. Wise people are good listeners. Point number 2, wise people have the thirst or desire to learn good knowledge and spiritual knowledge. Young people, point number 2 is extremely important. Wise people have the thirst or desire to learn good knowledge and spiritual knowledge. Point number 3, wise people have the courage to teach their wisdom. Wise people have the courage to teach their wisdom. So young people, I encourage you to do your research on the topic of wisdom. And I hope and pray that you all will pursue wisdom with the utmost seriousness. Young people, when you pursue wisdom with the utmost seriousness, it'll be a tremendous benefit and blessing to you in the long run. I have a statement dealing with critical thinking, and it goes like this. Always be a critical thinker, young people, especially when making big decisions. Always be a critical thinker, young people, especially when making big decisions. So young people, I encourage you all to do your research on the topic of critical thinking. And I also encourage you to discuss the topic of critical thinking with your parents. And your parents will help you navigate the differences between making big decisions and minor decisions. And young people, it's also very important that you do your research on the topic of critical thinking, because this is just my humble opinion. The sooner you become a critical thinker, the better off you'll be, and it'll be a tremendous benefit and blessing to you in the long run. I have an ending statement of practice, and it goes like this. I love you. I want the best for you. I want you to practice using love and wisdom in all that you do. Life is a game that you must learn how to play. Practicing love and wisdom with your family, friends, and loved ones creates a powerful team. Love conquers all, young people, even if you feel defeated. So young people, I encourage you to keep loving and keep growing and gaining in wisdom, and God will bless you in a mighty way. I encourage you all to hit the thumbs up on this video. I encourage you all to share this video with family, friends, and loved ones. And I encourage you all to subscribe to my channel. At the end of the day, young people, I want you to accomplish all your goals and dreams in life. And I want you to be the best person that you possibly can be every single day of your life. That is very important that you do that, young people. I just want to add as far as being, accomplish your goals and dreams in life, as long as it is productive. Young people, you have to make sure that your goals and dreams are productive. And if they are, I support you 110%, okay? I have one more nugget of wisdom before I officially conclude this video, and it goes like this. Don't ever think that you're better than anyone else, but rather, young people, think of yourself as just as good as anyone else. Humility is a vital key to successful life. I hope and pray that you all will apply that nugget of wisdom to your life. Okay, young people, I'm going to conclude this video by saying this. May God bless you and may God keep you until we meet again.